Good morning, and welcome to today's lesson. Today's lesson, we continue learning about the family of Abraham. And if you were with me last week, we had talked about how Isaac met Rebekah. And if you remember, Isaac was whose child? Abraham's. So now I will take the story up from when Isaac met Rebekah. So Isaac and Rebekah now got married. The story is from Genesis chapter 26, if you want to follow it with me. And today's lesson will actually be about what God promised Isaac, because God promises us many things in our lives. If we just take note, he actually promises us things, and he actually makes them come to pass. Because after all, he is our father, and this father does not lie. Okay, so now Isaac and Rebekah are married, and Isaac moves to a land. There is a famine in the land where they are living. A famine is when there is no food. Like the way in this country sometimes we are like, there is no food. Yes, anyway, there was a famine. And so Isaac moved to a land, went to the king of Philistine. Is it Philistine or Philistine? Whatever. In Gerar. And his name was King Abimelech. And he was like, King Abimelech, in my land there is famine, there is famine, so we are going to settle in this land. And then, but Isaac was, I think in his spirit, he was a little bit like, these people are not my people. I don't know, I am not feeling like I need to stay here. So God came and told him, by the way, Isaac, do not go anywhere else. You stay here. Stay in this land. Sometimes God is very interesting. In the place where you think there is a lot of trouble is where he will tell you to stay sometimes. Because in that place, he will bless you and he will grow you. And he will also use your life as a testimony for the other people who do not believe in God to see that indeed God exists. And so God told Isaac to stay in that land. And then he promised him some things. He told him, Isaac, if you stay in this land, I will be with you. Isn't that so cool? I will be with you. I will bless you. I will give your descendants. You see this land, Isaac, that you have now come to sit in. Like, let's say you go and live in Kiambu, and then one day you wake up, and then God says, you see this whole of Kiambu here? I will give it to you and your descendants. So God told him, I will give you this land, you and your descendants, i.e., the people who will come after you. And then he said, that promise I gave your dad, Abraham, I will make sure that you live to see it confirmed. I will make sure it comes to pass. And then he said, and I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars, the same thing that he had told Abraham. So now Isaac, I think, had a little bit of an issue because he was like, you will give me many descendants, God. That's so great. But can you see my wife? We have been married for nearly 15 years. We do not have any children. And so he prayed, and he kept praying for Rebekah. 15 years, 16 years, 17. When he was 60, is when God saw it fit to give him 2 boys. And he gave him Jacob and Esau. So now he has 2 children, and he's 60. And God has promised him, I will make you many, many people. Your descendants will be very, very many. So I'm sure in his mind he was like, what does God really mean? Until his children started having children. And I can assure you, if you go to Genesis chapter 36 and you read about Esau's family, this is just how God fulfilled Isaac's promises to him. When you go to Genesis chapter 36, Esau actually had a whole village. I kid you not. That man had so many children and grandchildren. I think he even started his own country. That is Esau. Then you come to Jacob, his other son. Because you see, in the story, which I don't want to spoil for you, but I'll tell you a little bit. Jacob, he cheated Esau, so he had to run away. So where he went, he also had many, 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 many children. And in that way, God fulfilled to Isaac that part of that promise. Now, what about the land, the part of the land, and him living in land and being blessed? Well, you see, the Bible tells us that Isaac in the land of Abimelech, he became so rich and so powerful that the king was scared of him. The king, he was like, this man has come to take everything that we own here. How is he doing it? What is happening? His God must be very powerful. And so one day the story goes in Genesis that the king decided to go and see Isaac with two of his people, two of his senior government officials, what we would now call government officials. And they were like, how is it that you are so rich? Your God is a very powerful God. Is he the one who has made you be like this? And they even threatened to chase him away. They were like, we will chase you out of here because now you are too powerful for us. And so Isaac was like, okay, no problem. Me, wherever I go, God said he will be with me. I will continue to be blessed and I shall continue to be rich. Then one day the king was, I am paraphrasing. Then one day the king was thinking, he was like, wait a minute, it is better for Isaac to actually be our friend. So they went slowly. They were like, Isaac, we are so sorry. Actually, it is better for us to be friends. Don't you think so? So Isaac was like, you people are the ones who chased me away. Now you want me to be your friend. And then he said, anyway, I forgive you. And he created a big party. And they became friends again. And that is how God fulfilled his promise to Isaac of being a very rich man and being very powerful in the land that God showed him. Next time that I come, we shall probably continue with this family story because this family story is very, very interesting. But remember, we who are in Christ are also in the family of Abraham and descendants of Isaac and Jacob. So, if you want to see how this story goes, join me next time for the next part of the story. But for now, bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed and learned something from it. Bye.